Okay, so what I'm going to do in here is add or subtract, whatever it is, the operation for the given radicals. In the example, when we're going to add the radicals, common mistake students do is they start adding everything up, like they add the 9 with the 3, well, that's a 12, and then they add the inside to the radical. But keep in mind that you cannot add the inside to the radical. What our goal is right now is to find the common radical in order to combine the coefficients of those radicals. So our common radical is the 6th root of 19. So let's pull out the 6th root of 19. And then what we're going to do is we're going to combine the 3 and the 9, which are the coefficients of the radicals in there. So 9 plus 3 is 12. So my answer is 12, 6th root of 19. Sometimes you're not always going to have a common radical, like in this example right here. Let's say I'm adding the square root of 75 plus, 2 square root of 3. So right here we don't have a common radical, yet we can find a common radical by simplifying the square roots as much as we can in here. So we have the square root of 3 right here. The factors of 3 are 3 and 1. Both are, well, the 3 is a prime number. So in here you don't have to simplify any further. But in this case, you could write this radical in simplest form. So because when I'm taking the square root, my root is a root of 2. So I'm going to be creating pairs of prime numbers to pull out and simplify the radical. In here, let's start by listing out some factors. So factors of 75 are 3 and 25. And then we're going to list out factors until we get all prime numbers. 3 is a prime number, 25 is not, but we can factor out the 25 and split that into factors of 5s in there, because 5 times 5 is 25. The 5 is, the 5s are prime numbers, so we can already stop listing out factors there, and we're ready to simplify the square root. Like I said earlier, when you're taking a square root, you're taking a root of 2, so we're going to create pairs of prime numbers. So right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down a radical. So square root to put anything inside the square root that doesn't have a pair. And anything that has a matching pair will come outside. Like in here we have one pair of prime numbers. So right here, because the square root of 5 times 5 is 5, we can pull out the 5. We have one pair of 5s in there. And then the 3 doesn't have a pair, so we're going to put that inside the square root. But remember, we're adding the square root of 75 plus 2 square root of 3. So I'm going to bring down 2 square root of 3 and then add these guys. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out my common radical, which is the square root of 3, add the 5 and the 2. So my answer is 7 square root of